I don't want to take too much time. I just did want to announce Colonel Lanning here from representing the Armed Services. Armed Services are the primary reason why we're here today. This facility, as the mayor's going to announce, has gone through an exchange of hands. So thank you very much for being here today. I want to thank you first and foremost, and then just start with introducing Mayor Berry to make our two exciting announcements that we have for today concerning, one, this property, and then two, this specific facility that we're standing in. So with that, Mayor.
Thanks, Mike. Well, welcome everybody, and today's a good day for partnerships, and as we do a lot of times, we meet with our partners around the state of New Mexico, and in this case, the United States government, the state of New Mexico, Mid-Region Council of Governments, and the city of Albuquerque, the fire department, and lots of other folks are getting together to really make great use of this facility. Where we are standing right at the moment is the Jenkins Armed Forces Reserve Center. We're at approximate location of Wyoming and Copper. This is a property that the city has actually owned, but we had a 99-year lease on this property to the federal government for $1. This is part of the program where the federal government came in and built Army reserve facilities around the country on city-owned property. Well, after the base realignment and closure committee recommendation in 2005 to move the Armed Forces Reserve Center onto Kirtland Air Force Base, which you remember that, the city of Albuquerque is now getting this property back. The first two buildings on this property were constructed in 1949 and 1950. In the early 1950s, the facilities were used actually to process almost all the New Mexicans that were going off to the Korean War. On Veterans Day 1961, this property was rededicated in memory of Corporal Hugh Jenkins, who was killed in action on April 25, 1953, just 3 months before the armistice of July 27, 1953. In 1978, the building that we're now standing in was constructed along with the education building and the shop building. So it's quite a campus, and we'll give you an opportunity to go out and see it this afternoon because there's a lot of great property here. So we're grateful for the donation of these 5 buildings on the property, and we already have a plan in place for this facility, and that's what we're going to talk about this afternoon. First, our street maintenance crews for the city of Albuquerque and the fire department, Albuquerque Fire Department, maintenance shop are going to set up shop here as well. So we'll have the street maintenance crews and the fire department doing maintenance on this property. Next, we'll have a lease agreement with the Police Athletic League, which is in the building just to the south of here on the property, to use that warehouse building for their activities. So we'll have a great community partnership with Police Athletic League here as well. Solid Waste is going to be starting to use the east side parking lot as a staging area for their recycling efforts. If you remember, a couple of weeks ago, we announced the new recycling center that's being built in a private-public partnership here in Bernalillo County to handle our new recycling program and our blue bin program at the city of Albuquerque. Well, we'll now have a staging area for those recycling efforts right here on this site. And the most exciting part, I think, of this complex is the construction of a brand new regional traffic management center that will take place right here in this building. Right now, there are 2 locations that monitor traffic conditions in the larger metropolitan area. The city actually has a couple of dilapidated old trailers up on Wyoming that we've been using. They do a great job up there, but the facilities certainly aren't the best. And the Department of Transportation has a center that's currently located in the basement of the Mid-Region Council of Governments building. As we found out several months ago, it's actually been almost a little over a year ago, or actually probably more than that, almost like a year and a half ago, where we found out that the federal government will be turning this property back to the city of Albuquerque. We immediately started conversations on highest and best uses for this property, and one of the things that really stood out was the fact that it really doesn't make sense to have 2 of the largest entities when it comes to traffic in Bernalillo County not being able to be in the same location, at least for communication purposes, if nothing more. So MRCOG has earmarked nearly $9 million to renovate this building to build the traffic management center. Other centers being built around the country, if you look at this new wave of technology, a lot of those buildings are costing upwards of $50 to $70 million. So this building that we're standing in now on this property, this return of this property to the city from the federal government is estimated at around $7.5, $7.7 million. That the taxpayers of the city of Albuquerque just got back from the federal government. We'll couple that with the $9 million in investment from MRCOG and our other partners, and we're going to have a fantastic facility. I want to thank Adjunct Secretary of the NMDOT, Mike McEntee. I didn't see Mike. Is he here? Oh, there you are. Mike's here, and we appreciate the DOT working with us. Of course, Executive Director of MRCOG, Dewey Cave, is with us this afternoon, as well as County Director Tom Zdenek. I don't know if I saw Tom.
Dave Mitchell's here.
You're the new Tom today, okay? And also the Rio Rancho Public Works Director, Scott, let me say it, Sezenbar.
And Leonard Rivera is actually here.
Leonard Rivera's in his place. Rivera was easier to say than I could've. When in operation, this traffic center will be shared by the City of Albuquerque, NMDOT, MRCOG, Bernalillo County, and Rio Rancho. And we're really excited about that partnership. The ability to share information between these groups will enable us to enhance the public safety and to minimize the delays when unexpected events occur on our roadways. According to a study out of Oregon, when an interstate lane is closed during rush hour, it equates to $2,000 in lost productivity and increases commute times by 3 minutes on average. We want to be able to communicate lane closures in real time and right now, and that's not happening. So we want to make sure that we're communicating better with the people that we serve. The NMDOT has already prepared a concept of operation and feasibility and cost assessment for a regional transportation management center. And the next step will be to work in partnership to begin the actual design of the facility now that we have actually obtained the property. So we have control of the property now as the City of Albuquerque. We expect the design process to take approximately a year, and then we assume that the construction phase will take approximately another year. So this is about a 2-year project, but we think it's just a great opportunity to work with our partners to enhance public safety, to enhance the ease of commutes, and to really come up with a world-class transportation center right here in the center of Albuquerque. So with that, I'm going to give it back to Mike, who I believe is going to bring up Dewey Cave and talk about their participation as well. So thanks.
Mayor, thank you.
If everyone recalls, the second part of the announcement was this regional traffic management center. If everyone recalls, about a year ago when the bus accident happened, or the bus incident happened on the interstate, it pretty much paralyzed the city for that morning commute. And at that time, people mobilized to different areas. With this center, when we get something like that in place, traffic engineers will be able to come together with decision makers in one location and be able to define routes for people to travel. And if people have noticed, a lot of the nerve centers, what we call it, that's already out there. So the ITS boards that tell people where to go, how long it's taken to get to different intersections, we'll be able to utilize that resource in a much larger capacity. So that right now is being primarily done out of the basement of Mr. Cog under the direction of Dewey Cave, and then that small double-wide trailer that the mayor mentioned that the city has. So bringing those resources together are really going to expand the possibilities of what we can provide the taxpayers. So without Mr. Cog and without Dewey Cave in particular leading that over at Cog, we wouldn't be there where we are today. And where we're going is about $9 million away to renovate this building, to make it ADA compliant, to make it into that regional traffic management center. And with his leadership and working with all the regional partners, he's the one that's really making that happen. So I want to thank Dewey and bring him up to say a few words if you could. Sorry if I took all your talking points, but
thank you, Mike, and I want to thank Mayor Berry for letting us be part of this this announcement for the new Regional Traffic Management Center. And to make a correction, the New Mexico Department of Transportation really operates the transportation center that's in our facility. We provide the facility for them and any coordination that they may need, but they've done a great job in that operation. And this existing facility, really I've seen the magnitude of what it can do to keep traffic flowing smoothly on our roadways. And let me just say that in addition to the benefits that continuous communication will bring and better response time to traffic mishaps, this is truly the first time we're really looking at coordinating the duties of those responsible for traffic operations, along with the duties of those that are responsible for responding to roadway incidents. And so it's that combination that really makes this very important. Imagine a day when instead of one agency having to pick up the phone to call another and tell them about a traffic incident, that they can just simply turn around from their desk and look across the room at a person they need to talk to instead of talking on the phone. That's what this is all about, operating traffic signals, better communication with first responders, better response to traffic mishaps and weather-related issues, all under one roof, and that's really what this is about. All of this adds up to a benefit for the citizens of the entire region. I envision that this system will one day allow us to retime signals in the event of a traffic issue and address problems in a localized manner to get motorists rerouted in real time and not be stuck waiting hours for an accident to be cleared. That day is now closer because of today's announcement. So I want to thank the mayor and the city for their efforts, and also the continued efforts of the New Mexico Department of Transportation, the Department of Public Safety, Bernalillo County, Rio Rancho, and the region, and everybody else, all the other partners in the region, as we move forward in realizing this really truly collaborative effort that will serve citizens of this great region. So thank you for all of this.
Thanks, Dewey. So I want to thank a few of the other people that really helped get us to where we are today. Mike Halbert from the U.S. Armed Services, is he? There he is. Mike, thank you. He was the primary in charge of the turnover of this facility to the city, and it's been a tremendous effort. It's taken some time, but we've gotten a very great facility from you, so thank you for all of your help. Ken Mitchell from my staff at DMD on the receiving end of that, making sure that the transition went smooth, so thank you, Ken. Mark Shepard, if you're here for the security of the site, thank you as well. Terry Doyle and Thaddeus Lucero from the COG, working with Dewey to try to develop this MOU to get us all together to this spot. And lastly, just again, the mayor has been tremendous on projects like this. Paseo del Norte was the first example, when we had a $350 million project that was not palatable for this region, and he challenges people to work in teams and figure out better ways to do things. That turned into a $93 million project that can be done. This project at one time was a $70 million project. It was a dream that could never happen, even though these regional transit centers are from the East Coast to the West Coast across the country. But when a resource like this came available, we went to the COG, worked with our partners, and now to have turned this, what could have been a $70 million project into a $9 million project for the benefit of the taxpayer. So that's just a tremendous amount of work. Lastly, from the real property, the former real property manager and the current one, Susie Lubar and Lisa Gutierrez, working on all the paperwork to get this transferred, have done a tremendous job. So it's just a very proud moment to be here today working with all these professionals. Thank you, Mayor, for leading the team. And with that, I guess we're here to answer questions, or we can bring you around the site a little bit if you'd like. Ken, I think we have access to all the buildings now, right? So no unexploded ordinances out there, Mike, right? We're good? Okay. So with that, I think we're available to answer some questions.
When it's completed, how many people do you see working here?
That's a great question. The operation of these things can become very expensive if you let them go that way. Right now, the DOT operation and the City of Albuquerque operation, we would expect them to come over and just work as is, so no additional operating costs based on the facility. As we want to improve service, we could add more costs, but initial operating costs would be, we're combining the resources from two existing facilities, so no additional operating costs.